Okay, welcome back to Pile of Mopars. As you know, I struck out with wheel studs for that. But what I did find in my stash is years ago I parted out a 65 Polara 4-door that was destined to be scrapped and had a lot of good mechanical stuff, like fairly recent replaced stuff. So I grabbed all the drums and stuff off of that and brake shoes. And so I took the passenger side from that drum there, and we're going to put that on here, and that'll give us our proper direction on our threads. Anyway, I'm going to get that on here. So it's on floor tires. Let it off the jack, and then I'm going to pull the motor and tranny tonight. Get that mess out of there and assess what we got. It didn't take long to scrap that idea. 65 C-body has a smaller diameter spindle than a 68B body. So who would have thought, eh? Bigger car and everything. So this bearing won't fully seat in. It's stuck on the tapered part of the spindle. So plan B is I'm going to have to do a little harder way. I thought I would take the easy route, but I'm just going to tap these out with a hammer and stick them in the other hub on the proper original drum, and that should get us where we need to be. Oh, well, here we are again. I'm just going to bash one of these out and see if it fits here before I do them all, just in case, for whatever reason, a 65 is different. Too easy. Pop that out. Hopefully this solves the problem, because the aftermarket doesn't seem to be able to do it. Oh, she's tight in there, that's for sure. Okay, well, it looks the part. Let's see. This is the hub out of the GTX. So, yeah, it looks like it here. Yeah. So we've got a nice friction interference fit here. So I'll go ahead and bash the rest of these out, install them here and into the hub and into the drum. And then I'm just going to pop this back on the car without doing the brakes just yet. Just because I want to get the motor and tranny out, and I want to get this on all four wheels so it's, less likely to kill me. That Polara that I parted out had all new parts, or a lot of new parts in it. So some of them were these drums, or brake shoes, I mean. They're in really good shape. Not like new ones for the GTX are very expensive. It's just that I've got to start using a lot of the stuff I have laying around up. And these are perfectly serviceable brakes. So we'll do that. And then I also recently purchased a brake lathe for rotors and drums. It came from one of my customers' shop that no longer uses it. So I got it really cheap, and I might just put a slight turn on these other drums. So these, here's the drums from the GTX. They've got just a very slight, probably could use a very slight turn, but we'll see if I can learn how to use that and make use of it right away, but time will tell. Anyway, I'll bash the other four of these out to get them installed in the hub and get this wheel on. Well, we got her back together. I just got to tighten up these lug nuts. Incidentally, there is no difference on the bearing diameters. The original one was a bit of a struggle to get on, so there was just a bit of a burr on the spindle. Anyway, overcame that, and everything's good to go. So I basically switched those lugs for nothing, but oh well. Well, as is usually the case, things snowball. Since I'm pulling the engine and transmission out, there's no point in putting these crappy old headers and exhaust back on, while it's out. So I'll put my new headers on, and I'm going to run the new dual exhaust. So I might as well saw these and get them out of my way. Okay, we'll start by getting these cross-member bolts out. I forgot to spray these the other day when I was spraying everything. But then again, I didn't expect to have to take them out. Yeah, better. I'll leave one on each side in there just till I get everything else out so I don't, forget and have a tranny fall on my head. We've had lots of people asking about when the New Yorker is going to come back on the scene. So my goal was to get this running and driving with the brakes and stuff, and then pull it out and bring the whale in. But this engine problem is going to set us back. So basically I'll pull the engine and tranny out. That'll make it easier to do everything I need to do on both. And then once that's out here after tonight, we'll get the whale in and start with that. Shauna's been reaching out to some of our club members with regards to having a bit of a party barbecue thing, and everybody come around and just get the engine and transmission into the whale. So we'll see how that works out. That might be a fun deal for everybody. Then we got to figure out who's camera shy and who's not, because not everybody wants to be, worldwide celebrities. Well, it looks like they figured they only needed one bolt in here for the console shift bracket, but probably it kind of looks like a stud broke off. Might weld one in when I put it back together. Then again, I might not. Who knows? I still haven't cleaned the inside of this thing out. I probably should. Get some of the biohazard most turds out of there. Yeah, just what I thought. You can see it, broken stud, so I'll have to bang that out and maybe just weld a bolt in or something. Okay, we got the inspection cover off, so I'm just gonna rotate the engine at the crank, probably at the front, and get all these torque converter bolts out, and then we'll get the starter out and probably loosen off the headers and or just cut them up. They're pretty crusty, and maybe that'll make life a little easier. Anyway, keep plugging away. Well, I was humming and hawing whether I should do this or not. Normally what I do is mark the orientation of the good thing I got that keeping that around. I'll be right back. Okay, like I was saying, normally ain't gonna work. Let's try another one. Okay, can number 3 feels like a winner. Let's see. Well, not really, is it? I don't know why I have all this paint around when it doesn't work. Well, whatever's there will dry. I just like to mark what bolt on what ear on the torque converter, because they only go on one way. It just makes it easier. And this is a pretty poor coverage, but it should dry, so you should be able to see it. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this torque converter in or not. This is probably just, well, heck, I don't even know if it's stock, because of course they rebuilt this tranny. They could have put any generic converter in, so we'll have a look on it, see if there's any markings. Otherwise, I've got a few around that are a slightly higher stall with a little thicker ring gear here, so they're a smaller diameter. Give it a little more oomph off the line, so we might go that route. We'll just see what happens when I get her apart. I just decided to use a paint pen. Got one in my pocket, so I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. Just looking at this bolt here, it's different than the other two. We'll make sure we get all the proper ones in when we put it together. Yeah, you gotta have a really shallow head on these, because otherwise you run into contact with the block. And we don't need it to clearance itself. There's enough going on with this engine already. To make my life a little easier, I'm just going to start cutting tubes here on these headers. Get them out of my way. I don't feel like fighting with it to get that starter out and all that stuff, so I'll just hack and slash, and it'll be nothing to cut through them just because they're so rusty. Okay, trusty saw, do your magic. I'll remove what's left of these headers from the head, and of course, being that they're only partially there, they should just fall right out basically. But that'll give me lots of room for the motor mounts and the top starter bolt. And yeah, got a bit of a head start on this thing because of course the rad's out and all that other stuff, so that shouldn't be too bad. Well, that was a bit of hacking and slashing, but you can see I've got a straight shot down at the motor mount there from up top or below. Same with this side, and I'll get that top starter bolt and all the bell housing bolts, so not too much left to go, but I think I'm gonna call it for the night and get back at her tomorrow. Okay, welcome back. It's another evening. Work on this beat up GTX. Let's get busy. See, when you get those nasty headers out of the way, look at how much room you got. I just took the starter out, and of course it's wide open. Anyway, give a little sneak peek at that crack. Look at that. Right to the one frost plug, and I don't know, it doesn't look like it quite reached the front plug there. So I think that's a relatively easy repair. We'll look on the other side here. I don't see any damage so far. That's obvious anyway. And then of course, look at how easy it is to get at the motor mount bolts, with no headers in the way. Anyway, that looks to be the extent of the damage. As bad as that is, I think that's totally fixable. So, yeah, I guess it could be worse. I'll keep plugging away here and give you a better view once it's out. Okay, all the bolts are out of this transmission, I think. So, let's see if I can get this down without killing myself. I think first thing to do would be to take these last couple bolts out. Okay, I need to be contact on one of them. I don't have much patience for stubborn bolts. Okay. Looks like it's coming out, I guess. Good pressure on the bolt, so that would be it, eh? I thought it was still engaged up front here, but I guess not. Okay. I guess we'll let that down. That's kind of freaky. No wonder it was not wanting to come out. It's supporting the entire transmission. If you recall in one of the earlier videos, I was trying to find the car's serial number starting in 68, and I'm not sure at what point in 68 they started, but they stamped the serial number of the car on this flange on the tranny, and then of course across on the block. So since I got this out, I can't help it but have a look here and see if there's anything there, because curiosity has got me. I'm convinced that it is. I don't think it's in the middle. I am convinced that it is the tranny because of the date, or the model number and all that, and the date actually. So there's no question there, but I just want confirmation with a serial number, but so far it doesn't look like there's anything here. Oh, I see something here maybe. You can see it. No, you can't see it yet. There's something here. Oh yeah, 8A. I always thought it was over here though, Yeah, I can see it. Part of it. It just seems weird they would do it half on this ridge here. Of course, back then they didn't give a crap about nothing. So the engine should have a corresponding serial number as well. The fact that the tranny does, can guarantee the engine has one too. So once we get that out, which should happen pretty fast because it's only 2 motor mount bolts holding it in. We'll do a little bit of investigation here. Okay. Oh yeah, there's some numbers. Oh yeah, there is too. Okay, so I'm just trying to, I'm not really putting much pressure on, as far as, sanding the numbers off because they are imprinted, but I'm just cleaning up to get the dirt out. And then I'm going to have to go up and look at the serial number of the car again, because I can't remember what it is. Okay, so if you look close, you can sort of see it there. I'll get the light and give you a better look here. Okay, so can you see? There you go. You can sort of see it there. It looks to be 8A 123 145. So 8 is 68 model year. A, I guess, is the assembly plant, or is that the car plant? I'll have a look. So we got, looks to be 123 145. You can see that there. It's hard to get so focus so close. Okay, let's let the car down and have a look, because I am so curious. Okay, brought the car down. Let's have a look. What do you see there? This one's so dirty you can't even see. Anyway, it says 8A 123 145. So that is officially the numbers matching transmission. And we'll find out about the engine shortly. Okay, with the tranny out and the engine is all unbolted, both motor mounts are just sort of sitting there. We'll lower this down and get the engine crane set up, and it should just pop right out. Of course, it's a lot easier doing it with just the engine, you know, as opposed to what we did with the whale when we did both. And then prior to that, I need to get rid of some debris here, because that's right where the engine crane has to go. So I'll do a bit of cleanup. Well, it looks like I've got everything disconnected. I'm sure I'll find out shortly if that's not the case, but the hoist is all set up. And as usual, I had to find a chain, and this one was way too long. I think I might cut it up and make a bunch of engine slings with it, because I can never seem to find them. I'll just blame my kid. Yeah, why not? He's not here. Anyway, let's get busy here. Well, definitely much easier than when we did the whale. Tranny and engine separate. Now it should be just sitting in there, and it should just lift right off this purchase. No, not high enough yet. There we be. Just gonna double check. None of this stuff's gonna hang us up. Man, this wiring harness is just a hagged out piece of you know what. I think I'll order a new engine harness for when this goes together, because it's just hacked and spliced, and of course all the wires are you know, 50 something years old, 56 years old. And let's see if we can get away with not removing the hood. That would be bonus. I mean, not a huge deal, but go back a bit, I guess. Clear that brand new oil filter. Don't want to waste that. Okay, now we're hitting the hood. Darn it. Maybe turn this. Come back a bit, or I mean forward. Buy us a little clearance. If we could just clear this filter and pulley before we hit the hood, but I don't think that's going to happen. Scratching this mint rad support. Huh. What if I take the front two bolts off the hinge on the hood, loosen the back one, and just pivot the hood back further and hold it up with a broom? Because we still got to come up quite a ways yet. I'll see if that's going to work. If not, and the only reason to leave the one bolt on, it's just easier with one person. Shauna's in the house. I could grab her, but if I don't have to, I'll just, like I said, I'll do those bolts and pivot the hood back further. Yeah. I think that's what we'll do. Well, so far that worked. Undid the bolts. I marked them first just to make lining it up easier. Not that this thing was, aligned too well. And of course, this side had a broken bolt already anyway. That's, of course, just because this car is such a pile. I got a broom handle holding that up. So if I don't touch the hood, it shouldn't come crashing down, and they should come out. Let's see how this is going to work. See, we're still coming close. So close. Well, there's room for the hood to move, so. Maybe I'll hold it up. Well, it's going to be hard to do while I pump the jack, though. Keep that there as a backup. See if we can get this going. Look at that. I can come forward. As usual, I got too much crap laying around. Look at that. First thing I want to do is confirm the numbers matching, which I suspect it is. And then check out the damage and any more possible damage. Well, I want to rack that perfectly straight rad support. So that other one, the extra front clip I got with this, the inner clip, definitely gonna section that in here to some degree. And of course this rat support has the original numbers on it, so I guess I'll have to transfer them somehow, but that's nothing to worry about at this moment. I'm gonna try and not wreck anything. Look at that. Okay. I guess maybe this is a good height to inspect it for more cracks. Let's do that first, and then we're going to lower it down and check the numbers. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely been out before because this blue is just not even close. And of course the composite gasket. But look at that crack. Right from that frost hole to this one, and doesn't look like it went that all the way in, so that'll be nice. We'll drill a hole on the end of that, and I've gotten suggestions on how to fix it, whether you do the overlapping stitches with bolts, which is supposed to be really effective, or other people have said welding, I'll do a bit of research on it and see where I want to go with this. I would like the repair to be as invisible as possible, just because it is the original block, you know. Yeah, I don't see anything else obvious here, but let's go to the other side. My light's starting to die. But you see it was weeping water below the plug itself. No indication of any cracks or anything. Well, there's nothing else obvious. Oh, look at this. You can see remnants of the original turquoise. Here. All into there. Which is what this engine's supposed to be. And here, I'm going to look at this casting date. So, if you look at the casting date, 4/3/67. So, April 3rd or March 4th. Pretty early when you consider that the assembly date stamped on the block is August 30th. So this sat around for quite a while before it got used, but whatever. So anyway, let's lower it down and verify the numbers matching. Oh, the suspense. Let's brush some of this away. And like I said, when I had it in the car, I was looking in this area, but the tranny was stamped up here, so gotta think this is gonna be similar. So let's get rid of some of this dirt. Do this archaeological dig. This is kind of exciting. Gotta think since the tranny's got the serial number, this block should too. Oh yeah, I can start to see. Weird though, eh? It's stamped right up in this area with this knob in the way. I can see a number there of something. So, what was it? 123, 145? I think that's what it was. Oh yeah, there's something there. Let's solve this mystery. Dirt's caked on there pretty good. Guess 56 years will do that. Oh yeah. Very hard to see, even at this stage. They were never, I mean, this was a new thing in '68 to put the serial numbers on. I think it was a federally mandated thing, you know, with regards to car theft and stuff. So I'm not sure how serious these auto workers took it, because they sure seem to do a crappy job. Okay, we're getting close. Yeah, even with the sanding, very hard to read. But I can see some of the digits already, and it's looking favorable. Okay, let's get the light, although the battery is dying. And I'm not sure how this camera is gonna focus, but if you focus right on that square little casting, the numbers are on either side of that. So hard to show here because it doesn't want to focus. Anyway, I can confirm 1, 2, 3, and I can see the 145. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. On the block. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have an official numbers matching pile of crap. Because this car is rough. Why is it not focusing very well? Anyway. Yeah. Very hard to see. It'd be really tough in the car because, of course, the firewall's right here and you just can't get your head in there. But it's confirmed. Yeah, based on my, the model, the 440 HP and the tranny, saying 67, 68 HP 440, and then of course both date codes. Everything lined up correctly, but this confirms that it is serial number matching 440 and 727. And we will get this rectified. Get back a little bit to focus. So it looks like it stops right around here, so drill a hole there, and whether we stitch it right across, I got a friend Jerry who's experienced at that, or if it's welded. Either way, like I said, we'll grind it, and I want it to look as invisible as possible, but in the end I think it's savable, and it is what it is. So, and of course, now that this is out, I'm not going to be able to help myself, and I'm going to want to tear the heads off and have a look inside and all of that, check bearings, and if you have to, rings and bearings and all that. So everything just snowballs, right? But that's fun with cars for sure. Okay, this lump iron is out. The boat anchor is out. I wanted to get that and the tranny out before I punt the GTX out, just because I wanted to have it available here to work on. We do like to change the subject matter up a bit, whether it be the CUDA, the Super B, the Hemi Charger, or the GTX or the Whale, just to keep the flow going. And sometimes if you get bogged down on a project for a long time, you kind of lose interest or lose ambition and energy. So switching it out can be a good thing for sure, and maybe better for the viewers just to see something fresh. So with this being done here, I'm not going to dig into the brakes and suspension and all that in the GTX just yet. Shauna's been patiently waiting to get back on the Whale, so she's going to be out here in the shop with me working on her car. So this weekend, I guess we're going to roll the GTX out and roll the Whale in. First thing we'd like to do on the Whale is probably, maybe it's best I do floors first before we put the drivetrain in, because just in case I need access underneath and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to hand make all these panels, and I'm definitely no expert, but what the hey, like Shauna says, it's all covered up, nobody sees it. So with that being said, that's the end of this episode of Pile of Projects. Appreciate you watching, whoever's still here, hanging in here at this point, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.